Hey from Texas, it's Lindy Fulford with Striking Splendor, and I'm continuing my series on the 10 common reasons for divorce. And today I'm going to go into going deeper into four of the common reasons. We're going to talk about not being prepared for marriage, unrealistic expectations, money, and lack of equality. All right, so let's dive into the first one. Not being prepared for marriage. This happens because people don't really get into deep conversations sometimes before they get married. It is all fun and games and date nights and loving and hugging and kissing and all that good stuff. And sometimes people don't take the time to stop and actually discuss the things that are important before you get married, such as religion, politics, family, finances, career goals, how you communicate, where you want to live. Are you a cat person or a dog person? That's important, you guys. How you unwind, books and movies that you like, and how you resolve conflict. Okay? These have to be discussed at a deeper level because there's nothing worse than getting into a marriage or a relationship, for that matter, and getting way down the line, you're a year into it, 2 years into it, and realizing you don't even have the same beliefs, you don't have the same family goals. They want 5 kids, you want 1. They're a dog person, you're a cat person. I mean, really, these are things that you have to talk about before you get married. All right, secondly, unrealistic expectations. So, some people, when you get into a marriage, you think you can change that person. And I'm going to say 99 out of 100 times is the woman, right? You're like, oh, they go for the bad boy. They think they can change him. You guys, that is so far from the truth. The problem is that when you get married, you both come with faults. You have faults, they have faults. And you have to realize that you have to be able to communicate with each other so that you can compromise. It's okay. You're not going to necessarily change that person to be the person that you want them to be because they are who they are. But through communication and compromise, there is some give and take there, but you have to realize that when getting into a marriage, that person is who that person is. You gotta love them for who they are at the moment that you meet them. The second part of unrealistic expectations, and I touched on this the other night, is do not believe everything that you see in the movies, okay? We all saw The Notebook, and that's just not real life. I mean, it'd be great if it was a great love story. That's just not how life happens. They just show you the highlight reel. They show you the good stuff. Yeah, they show you some of the bad stuff, but they don't show you the mundane stuff that happens all throughout the day after day, taking kids where they gotta go. So guys, do not believe everything you see in the movies. All right, let's talk about money. Arguing about money is one of the top predictors for divorce. One of the top. Why? Because, again, one of these things that you need to talk about before you get married, if you're a spender and they're a saver, or vice versa, how are you going to manage the money? Who's going to manage the money? What are you going to do with the money? Are you going to save some money? What are you going to spend the money on? You're going to spend it on vacations? Are you a big spender or a small spender? My husband likes to buy big things. I buy a lot of little things. Probably adds up to the same amount, but his seems so much bigger because they're big items, right? And what's interesting enough is a lot of times people spend the way that they were raised, right? So if your parents were savers, you tend to save. If your parents were spenders, my mom and I, okay, for real, we would leave church on Sunday, and this was back when blizzards at Dairy Queen were 99 cents. She would dig through her purse to find the money so that we could get blizzards. Last of the money, and that was okay with me, right? And so my husband's told me before, I'm a cheapskate. And I am. I look for the biggest deal, but I do tend to spend too much. Sorry, had a call coming in there. All right, and last but not least is lack of equality. You guys, this is not just one person making more money than the other. This is not just housework and chores. This even comes down to respect, dignity, access to information, consideration, and love. You guys, a marriage is a partnership with two individuals that choose to live together as equals. And the traditional roles of men and women have changed, especially in the last 10 to 20 years. And so it's important to have conversations about this on each other's role in the marriage. All right. So the question I think to ask is, what happens, all of this stuff is, this communication needs to happen before you get married. But what happens if you're already married? Well, go take the love language test, go take the color code test, and go seek out marriage counseling, because I guarantee you the three of those together, they can help save your marriage. All right, there's going to be more tomorrow night. We're going to go over the last 4. And then on the next night, I'm going to give you some ways to spice up your marriage. So make sure you join me again tomorrow. All right, you guys, I'll catch you on the other side.